All right, so I'm here with Mark Bolger, and we're in a building at Microsoft that I haven't been to before, and looking at a product that I've never seen before. Tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here.
We're looking at Microsoft's first Surface computer. We're excited that we're going to make an announcement for this product on May 30th at the Wall Street Journal's D conference. What we're going to be doing is announcing that this product will be available later this year in commercial partners that we have lined up. Specifically, we'll be going into hotels and retailers and entertainment venues such as casino resorts.
Excellent. And how did this start?
Well, about 4 years ago, a team here in hardware was given the challenge to come up with a computer that was more approachable, convenient, and collaborative. And that team grouped together with the folks in MSR, and they came up with a concept that is largely what you see today.
And what all can you do with this?
Well, you can do many things. Let me show you an application that will give you the basics of what surface computing is all about. This is called Paint, and what you can see is that I can use my hands as I would in the real world to directly manipulate and interact with the Surface computer. I don't have to use a mouse or a keyboard. So I can just dip my hands in some paint and I can touch the surface, and that point is recognized and an image is transmitted up to this diffuser by a projector that's in the system. That is an example of direct manipulation. What I can do also is, instead of just having one single point of contact like you might find on a kiosk, I can have two. So there's the second attribute of what a Surface computer is comprised of, and that specifically is multi-touch.
Yeah.
Now, it's not only that you can touch in one or two places, we can actually have massive multi-touch where I can use all of my fingers, which just allows you to have some fun and draw some very interesting things. Now, so beyond direct manipulation and multi-touch, we also have an attribute called multi-user that you and I can collaboratively join around this table and we can work together. So go ahead and jump in here. You can drag your fingers across the surface. And if there were other people here, we could have up to 4 or 5 people doing it at exactly the same time. So
Excellent.
It becomes a very collaborative sharing experience that is very different than some of the isolated experiences you might have, say, around a small screen on a camera or a telephone or a PC.
Yeah.
So additionally, there's a fourth attribute of surface computing, which is called object recognition. So here's a paintbrush right off the shelf from a hardware store. You can bring it to the surface and paint with it just as you would in the real world. So go ahead and give it a try. We can dip the brush in another color paint, and you can see that the image is transmitted onto the surface. And you can see that it detects different widths of the brush as well. So again, the way this works is that we have a vision system inside that is sensing changes in infrared light on the surface of this diffuser. We can have some fun with some additional objects that are tagged, much like tags you would see on dominoes or in barcodes. And when this barcode is placed on the surface of the unit, it brings up a specific image that's tied to this specific tag.
So does the table recognize the dot pattern on that, or is it used like an RFID tag?
It recognizes the dot pattern via the cameras that are inside and then the projector sending the image up to the diffuser.
Cool.
So you can see that we can put on several different images and they can overlap one another and you can have some fun. So this is, again, is a very rudimentary example of what a Surface computer can do, but you can imagine having these tags and this functionality in a lot of different settings. We're first going to be taking Surface computing to the commercial environment, to, as I said, to hotels and retailers and public entertainment venues.
I've seen different videos going around the internet of different multi-touch applications, and they seem real far off into the future, but this is something we're going to have out this year, right?
Yes, in fact, that's true. Let me show you one of the applications from our partners. Say, for instance, if you were to walk into a cell phone store, say, for instance, T-Mobile, and one of the opportunities that the cell phone industry has is the need to communicate the rich, robust nature of some of the phones that are available today. This is an MDA, and it contains a lot of features that are very robust. Imagine having to, first of all, rely on a small 3x5 card. It's kind of difficult to really understand what what is inside of this product, but what if you were able to pull the phone off the wall, place it down onto the surface, and instantly the surface recognizes it and brings up an image of all of the different features of the phone. So you could actually tap on the megapixel camera, and you could be exposed to information that is as rich and robust as you might find on the internet.
So you can explore the features of a physical object just by laying it on the table.
That's correct. What we're doing is we're blending the physical and virtual worlds together into one vibrant experience on a tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you can press on My Faves, so T-Mobile might have some specific promotion that they want to tell consumers about at a given time. Additionally, what you can do is if you're considering making a purchase of another device, say Sidekick, you can actually compare those two devices side by side to look at the features on a comparative basis. And then when you're ready to make a decision, you can leave the phone on the surface that you're intending to purchase. At that point, you'd want to take a look at what plans are available, as you would in any normal discussion with a customer salesperson in a store. And what you can do is you can bring up a variety of plans that are available, and you can browse through them. And if you find some that are interesting to you, you can drag them up onto the virtual workspace, which is a nice surface that you can use to move the objects around that allows you to really explore what you're interested in purchasing. Once you've made your decision, you can simply grab one of the cards and drag it into the phone, and it's there building an invoice for you on the spot.
Excellent.
You can also take a look at services. Say if you're interested in texting, you can take a look at different plans that are available. Once you find one that you want to select, drag it into the phone. And then you can also check coverage, for instance. In certain areas, you can take a look at the dark green areas are where the best coverage is located. You can also take a look at content. Say for instance, if you wanted to pull some ringtones up onto the surface, you could display them, and then if you found one that you might be interested in listening to, you could play it. And if that sounds like you could drag it into the phone, and again, it's added to the invoice. At that point, when you're ready to go, what you can do is simply press confirm, and your order is sent to the staging area where the phone is provisioned just like it is today. And at that point, what we can do is recognize you as an individual, and when you bring your phone back into the store, you can place it down onto the surface, and it will recognize you, and you can at that point determine how you want to change your current plans. And for instance, if you again wanted to bring some ringtones up to the surface, you might be able to associate them with specific individuals that are in your calling queue. And we have the capability to do that today on a lot of phones, but the UI is sometimes difficult and challenging. This makes it easy for the user.
Excellent.
So another application would be dining. We've all been in a restaurant and have had to fight for the attention of a waiter.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being at your table and having it be as simple as pressing the surface and bringing up a list of beverages that are available. You can browse through them just by using your hand and dragging the images, and when you found something that you want, you just drag it into the order queue and place it there, and perhaps I want another item. And at that point, if a friend of ours joins us who's been here before, they could place a loyalty card down onto the surface, and it would bring up the items that they have ordered in the past, perhaps their favorites. Again, they can browse through, select an item that they might want to purchase to eat, and then perhaps add a drink to the queue. And then we can simply place our order, and it's sent back to the kitchen. When our waiter brings our order out to the table, we could have a glass that's again tagged and placed down onto the surface, and that glass could bring up an image that's corresponded with the tag. If, for instance, this were to be a glass of wine, it could bring up an image of the winery, the winemaker, the vintages that are available from that winery, perhaps pairings for the meal that we're having tonight. You can also have some fun with these images. You can see that we can interact with the bubbles that are on the surface. It also represents an opportunity for advertising in the future if we choose to do that as well.
And maybe some games to keep the kids busy
Absolutely.
while you're waiting for the food.
It makes dining more entertaining and easy. When we're ready to go, what we can do is we can place our payment methods down on the surface, and instead of having to discuss with each other who bought that second piece of pie or second coffee, what you can do now is you can just simply drag an item into your payment method, and you can split up the bill. And then we have a tip calculator that allows you to determine what level of tip you'd like to leave.
Wow.
will be very generous today. And then we just simply press pay, and off we go.
Wow, very impressive.
So let me show you another application which is associated with photos. Imagine if you had a loyalty card associated with any one of a number of online services that are available today. My photos are stored on a server. What I can do is, when I'm on vacation, I can place my loyalty card down on the surface. It recognizes me and brings my photos right up to the surface. What I can do at that point is I can click on a stack, and what I get is the best of both the digital and the virtual worlds. So I can take a photo as I would in real life and turn it around. I can, if you're interested in it, I can send it to you and you can manipulate it.
Okay.
We both can interact at once, again demonstrating the multi-user aspects of surface computing. I can blow the photos up as large as I want.
It's cool. We can both be doing it at the same time.
That's exactly right. It's a very collaborative social experience. It makes the, imagine yourself on vacation and having to crowd around a small 3x2 screen on the back of your camera trying to show and share your photos. This is such a much better experience because you can actually collaboratively sit around and interact with the photos as if they were printed and share them. You can also see that we have the ability not only to manipulate photos, but we can also do video. So if I just take this piece of video, press play, and you can see that I can enlarge it, decrease the size, which is really an interesting application. Finally, what we can do is take a Wi-Fi camera, and I can just take a photo of you right now on the spot. There you go. And I can place this camera down on the surface, and out will spill the photos. What I can do then is I can manipulate them, as we've done before. And we also have a function where I can turn this into a postcard. You'll see the variety of options that are available to me. I can turn the card over. I can write a quick message. And then I can simply press here, and I can send the postcard through my online service to someone.
Wow.
So what we're doing is we're blending the best of the virtual world with the physical world, making it a much more collaborative, enhanced, enriching experience. So inside of the Surface computer, we have a Vista-based system that is combined with a set of cameras that are sensing differences in infrared light on the surface of this diffuser, and we also have a DLP projector which is projecting from the inside up onto the surface. So those components comprise the Surface computer. So here you can see an application for our partner Harrah's. Imagine walking into one of their resorts and having just a tremendous amount of opportunity to go to restaurants and shows and not really being fully aware of what's happening. What I can do is I can place my rewards program down on the surface, and instantly it recognizes me and it provides me with a map of the resort. I can use my hands and I can actually resize the map and take a look at what's available. And what I can do then is I can browse through restaurants, and this one looks like it's interesting. I can actually make a reservation. Here's another restaurant that I could do the same. Perhaps what I want to do is go to a nightclub and buy VIP tickets. Or perhaps what I want to do is see what types of shows are available, and here I have the opportunity to take a look at an Elton John trailer. So I can simply press play, and it provides me with a trailer of the concert.
Elton John's red piano has lifted off. Here in
And that sounds interesting, so what I'll do is I'll purchase those tickets, and then when I'm ready to go, what I can do is drag my choices right into my loyalty card, and the points are deducted.
Excellent.
So what this allows me to do is to really optimize my experience when I have such a wealth of things that I can do within a Harrah's environment, and I can actually plan out my day and with the use of the Surface computer. So another application we have is related to music. One of our partners is Sheraton, and we've all been in a situation where we've been in a restaurant or a bar and have heard music playing and have not really been able to identify what the song was, and perhaps if we did get it, we forgot it when we got home. So what this allows us to do is, at the comfort of our own table, we could browse through music with the flick of a wrist, and if we found a particular album that we were interested in, what we could do is we could tap on it, turn it over, and find a song that we're interested in, and we could actually drag it into the queue. At that point, if I wanted to see where I was located, I could look. I can see that I'm 5th in line for that song to play, which is really a nice enhancement for being able to collaboratively interact with the music that's being played and have more control over it. In the future, what we'll be able to do is bring a Zune to the table, drop it down onto the surface, and it will be recognized through any one of a variety of means, perhaps through Wi-Fi. And what we can then do is, if we like a particular album, we can drag that album directly into our Zune and take it with us. If a friend of ours were to join us with another Zune, they could place it down on the surface, and our playlist would be available, and we could browse through those. And if there's a particular song that I was interested in, I could then bring that into my device, and I could take it with me as well. So we believe that Zunes, as they are today, are a great sharing experience, but bringing them to the surface of this device actually enriches it even more, makes it more collaborative, provides another way for us to share music.
Excellent. I love it.
Another application we have is a video puzzle. And what we can do, as I've shown you before, is we can associate each of these tiles using the tagging system that we've discussed. And I can place them down on the surface. And what I can do then is I can select to have any one of a number of images brought up to the surface, and they can be associated with each of these tiles. I can either have it single-sided or double-sided. And when I press start, what you can see is that this becomes a video puzzle. And you can see that with this lettering here that it can be single-sided or double-sided. You get the reverse image.
Yeah, so when you flip it over, it just reverses the image in the tile.
That's exactly right. So what this gives us an opportunity to do is to have a variety of images that are available in a library that people can choose from. And you can imagine that in a commercial setting, or eventually in other settings, that this will provide a lot of entertainment opportunity for people. Go ahead and give it a try.
All right, mixed up a nice little Forza experience here. Wow.
Here we have another application which is called Water. It's essentially in a track mode. As you would imagine in a commercial setting, people will be able to come to the device and actually be able to touch it and interact with it in a way that will allow them to understand how to work with this new technology. This could become educational, or it could be just fun for people in a lobby setting or in a hotel setting.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for meeting with us today. And again, just tell us who you are and what you do here.
Great. Mark Bolger, I'm the Director of Marketing for Surface Computing.
Excellent. Thank you very much.